Hey guys, it's Bina and they are finally live. The tier lists are live on Maxroll. We have many different categories: corruption tier list, speed farming tier list, arena, bossing, and leveling tier list. So whether you want to do any activity in the game, you'll be able to just pick a build, and as you go into these tier lists, let's say for example we take the corruption tier list, you'll just click on the link here on the text, and it's going to link you directly to the build guide where you can have all the information about the builds that are here. So let's go over a couple of these builds now. So there are some that are grayed out. These are some that are not currently on Maxroll, but are planned to be there, whether it's going to be on the 19th, February 19th, before the 1.0 release. So you'll be able to go check them out and see if you might want to check, you might want to play them for the 1.0 launch, or they might be there a little bit later. I know for myself, Ballista Falconer, both of these are going to be live on the 19th for sure. Judgment Aura Paladin as well, and there's another one as well, which is the Plasma Orb Rune Master. Those are the ones that I worked on, so these four are going to be there and available for you to click on them and check out the build guides on the 19th. For S tier, so we have corruption pushing tier list. So let's first note here as a disclaimer, the placement of the builds are not in order inside of these own tiers. This is all kind of subjective as well, right? Because we don't know exactly. So before 1.0, not many people actually push corruption that much. I think that with 1.0, we're going to see a lot more people pushing corruption, especially with the corruption rework. So we're going to have to wait and see. We will update these as we get more information, as people push these builds to the absolute limits and see which ones are the best. But this is to the best of our knowledge, this is what it's going to look like for 1.0. And if any adjustments needs to be done, then we will do so. So we think Hydrahedron and Raids are going to be S tier for corruption pushing. These two builds are just Hydrahedron Rune Master. Rune Master is extremely tanky. Hydrahedron is extremely safe and does a ton of damage. So because it's like perfect AI turret playstyle, this is very, very strong for corruption pushing, where you can just play very defensively even if you go like very, very high. Wraith Necromancer, same thing, kind of off-screen monsters, huge damage, not as much survivability as a Rune Master, but still insane damage and like perfect AI as well with those minions. So this is going to be absolutely great for pushing corruption. Of course, we have Swipe Weber, which has already been pushed to like extremely high corruptions as well, but we think that it's going to be less than these builds up here. So again, you can just click on any build and you'll get the link to the guide on that we have here. So next up, we have speed farming tier list. This one are the ones that are going to be best for mapping efficiently, going super fast, right? Not exactly pushing the highest in corruption, but like this is a tier list based purely for speed farming, based on AoE clear, movement speed, swiftness, how fast can you get to the objective while killing monsters, as many monsters as possible. So we still think Hydrahedron will be here. Shadow Dagger's Blade Dancer, an absolute classic. If you haven't played this build yet, I highly suggest it. Very, very fun, very fast and agile. You get 50% movement speed when you are using your movement ability, which is going to be Shift. So these are the ones that we think are going to be the best. Next up, we have the arena tier list. In arena tier list, this is how high in arena can you get. We've seen builds push over 1,000, 2,000, even 3,000 arena waves in 0.9. Of course, some of these builds were utilizing clever use of certain bugs without naming them. But let's just say, I do think that people are very, very clever and come up with really fun interactions and really powerful interactions to be able to push as high as possible in arena. Usually you want to be pretty tanky so you can take a hit from monsters even very high waves, and you want to have just enough damage to be able to kill them, or maybe having CC so they can actually not actually hit you. So Swipe Weber here, extremely good. Bleed Hammerden Paladin, how do you die with this build? Wraith Necromancer, again. Dead Seal Lich, Lizard has shown in the past multiple times that he can push arena super high with Dead Seal Lich. Hail of Arrows Marksman, this is the best marksman that is on the leaderboard currently. Mainly we've seen Tunk push with this one a lot. Nova Hammerdin, Hydra Hedron. So all of these builds should be pushing quite high. Of course, we're not naming here Plasma Orb Rune Master, which is currently I think it's ranked 2 or 3 at the moment on the ladder. And then there's also the Zombie Sacrifice build, which is supposedly getting changed for 1.0. So we'll see about this one if he can still push very high in the arena. So we have an arena tier list with all of our speculation. I think this is the most speculative one because not that many people actually play arena. So we're gonna have to see where all these builds end up at. And yeah, I'm super excited for this tier list. I love arena, by the way, guys. So you'll see me pushing arena in the upcoming months for sure. Bossing tier list. How much damage can you do? Shatter Strike Spellblade. Shatter Strike Spellblade is actually an absolute monster of a DPS if built properly for it. It can kill Julra before the first explosion even happened. So extremely good. Squirrel, I don't think they need any introduction. Squirrel is just a classic in bossing DPS. Although apparently the 45% damage reduction they've gotten, the helmet gives, was not being applied for the entirety of patch 0.9. So we'll see. Even if they lose half of their damage, even if they lose half of their damage, I don't think that's gonna change much, to be honest. Like you'll kill Julra in like what 10-15 seconds instead of like 7 seconds. I think that's fine, right? Right Necromancer, Manifest Armor Forge Guard, like all of these extremely good bossing damage. And finally, we have the leveling tier list. Some of these are way better than others. Certain skills feel way better than others for leveling. And then we had Tarek, our expert speedrunner, and leveling to the leveling tier list, which is, you know, he's an expert in this field. So that pretty much sums it up, guys, all which are public. So these are live right now. You can go check them out. You can click on every single one of these links, and this is going to link you to the proper build guide. I hope you have fun in 1.0 launch, guys, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.